I mean, I'm tired of waiting. Are you
Can you
ready?
hear me okay, Curtis?
Oh yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Coming through.
Intimidation is kind of the word that comes to my small mind. But my next guest does not have a small mind. He thinks outside the box. He's a consummate professional in his field of recruitment, of racket sports, of court facility maintenance, of fitness and wellness. I'm tired of this crap. Chris Hagman, what's up, man? There you are. Hey, how are you?
Hey, Curtis. Good afternoon.
I told you I
Good
get
to see you.
I told you I get him on here. It's these two pros. One of them's from where? Somewhere in Spartansville, South Carolina. Anyway, he's heard of you. He knows about Chris and Atlantic Rec, which is one piece we're going to talk about as well. But hi, welcome to the show. I'm Curtis Reese. I'm your host. Please subscribe. Please follow. Please make fun of me in comments about the show here. And we're going to start with Christopher Hagman of Atlantic Rec, Welch Courts. What else? Tell us the way of rackets with Christopher Hagman. What are you doing? How'd you get here? What all do you do? All right, tell us about it.
Well, good afternoon, Curtis. I actually juggle a few balls in the racket sports world. Of course, my firm is Atlantic Recreation, and happy to say we're moving into our 34th year.
Oh, wow.
And I've represented Welch Courts in Florida in my 11th year there, too. So between those two things and being a part-time assistant coach for Florida Southern men's team, I've certainly got my hands full in the racket sports world.
Oh, and you got a daughter starting college, right? Super smart and super awesome.
She did. She did. Gabriella, bless her heart. She's actually the 2025 Florida Strawberry Festival queen, and she's just started USF.
Good school. She's got good parents, man. I told you that. Good parents. Tell us about
Just on her mom's side, anyway.
Shut up. Tell us a little bit about your history with racket sports, how you played juniors. They're too good. How good you were, and how awesome where you went with your career. So if you want to talk a little bit about your tennis career, you can.
Sure. Well, when I think about tennis, I feel like I won the lottery of tennis blessings,
Yes.
Candidly. And it started back when we lived in DeLand, Florida. And I didn't start playing tennis until I was 12, which is late for a competitive player.
Yeah.
I grew up playing baseball, Pop Warner football, recreational basketball, all these other things. Yeah. And a guy moved to DeLand named David Kelly. And David moved from Maryland, and he was a stellar tennis player.
Yeah.
As a junior, he could beat everyone at Stetson on the Stetson University team.
I know that's it.
And David and I were friends. We would ride bikes together. We play stickball together. Yeah. He'd take me out, beat me 6-0, 6-0. He could beat me 6-0, 6-0 left-handed. I mean, we were still friends. Yet I really got into tennis by knowing him, seeing his success, started playing a little bit. We'd go to a tournament. He would win the tournament. I'd lose in the first round. We'd go to another tournament. He'd win the tournament. I'd lose in the first round. We started playing doubles together.
I remember that. I was like that too. I wasn't winning tournaments, bro.
He was so good that he would carry me a little bit, and I slowly improved. And so that was really my start there in DeLand, Florida. My big break was when I moved to Lakeland, Florida.
Oh, wow.
When I was a sophomore in high school. Good athlete, mediocre tennis player. Yet Lakeland had a tremendous environment where I had a choice. There were all these really stellar players there. Ben McCallum, who's three-time national champion, was there. Yeah. And I could either get a lot better, or these guys were going to beat me, and they could just have fun beating me. And so I chose to get a lot better, and I did. And so that was a big break for me in junior tennis, and then moved on and went to Tallahassee and played 2 years there at Florida State, and on from there.
Yeah, just listen to that. I just went to, walked on to Florida State and played. Pardon me. I played 2 years at Florida State, and then you finished at Florida. Is that right?
I did. I was redshirted at Florida 1 year, actually, where I got my degree.
Oh, awesome.
And but
Very,
I,
very
I
humble.
played a lot at FSU.
Very fun, very humble, very humble man, very humble. Yeah, and we're talking with Mr. Chris Hagman of Atlantic Rec, and we're talking about how he got into racket sports. And it was in Florida as a junior, getting his butt kicked by happened to me too, man. I mean, I looked like I was 5 when I was 12. I mean, I was such a young looking kid. So I remember that. I was called first round roadkill, fence hugger. What else you want to call me? So let's talk about Atlantic Rec. Tell us about how that's evolved. You said 34 years. And for those of you that don't know, Chris has recruited a lot of local directors that are upper echelon clubs, such as Dallas Country Club, the private sector, some for Banner House, Preston Playhouse, Bent Tree Country Club, Brook Hollow. No disrespect to Dallas, any other clubs, but in Lakewood, those are all high-end clubs that these directors ask them. And they say, "Hey, you got a guy? You got someone for me to take the spot?" So tell me about what all you do you've worked. You and I've worked together. You've referred me to Savannah, Georgia, which was awesome.
Yeah, and back to Dallas. I know I've done some work there at Royal Oaks, and a few other clubs. I really like Dallas a lot. It reminds me of Atlanta. So, but one thing about my firm, an interesting story I'll share, which I think hopefully the audience can relate to. When I started back in '91, back in the dark ages.
Shut up, man.
Person encouraged me to approach a man that was one of the wealthiest guys in Georgia, and he owned 4 clubs, golf clubs.
Wow. And
they happened to have 2 tennis courts and a pool, 4 tennis courts and a pool. And he told me, "Well, Chris, the only reason I've got tennis courts and a pool is so my golfers' wives have something to do." And I asked him about starting a tennis program, and I finally convinced him to give me a chance.
There you go.
And this is back in '91.
Wow.
He goes, "I'll tell you what, I'll give you 90 days. And then after 90 days, I will talk to my golf directors and see what they think." So he gave me a 90-day trial. I said, "Great, thanks. I'll try 90 days." Well, that started with 4 clubs in 1991. We worked with the Canongate clubs for 13 years. So 13 years later, it was at 7 clubs. He passed away. His family inherited it. An investor bought it. So it's a good story that if somebody gives you a chance, do your best. And that's how I started the firm back in '91. And in the metro Atlanta area, the people that know Atlanta, I used to say in presentations, the tennis capital of the world. And the Alta League, which is phenomenal, probably still is phenomenal, and had tremendous business implications. And that's really how I started the firm. And it's really evolved. In 2011, I rebranded the name of the company to Atlantic Recreation, for I had learned fitness.
Yeah.
And added that to our mix and wanted to launch it nationally. So I took it out of Metro Atlanta and have done work with the CMAA and clubs in the Dallas area and throughout the Southeast U.S. And so that's how the name changed to Atlantic Recreation. And as we progress through time, most of the work I do now is really just consulting with clubs and fitness, wellness, racket sports, and helping them recruit top-tier talent.
Yes.
Which, because I've done this for so long, I've literally been involved with hundreds of hires, not only for my firm, but for others. I feel like one of the things that I really bring to people is a lot of insight on hiring top people and hiring people that have a lot of capabilities that can can progress and grow in their career. So a lot of the work I do with my firm now is helping clubs find stellar talent.
Yeah, I've worked with you before, and I know firsthand how detailed and specific you are and how you want things done, and they're all done to benefit the pro, benefit the director that reaches out to you at these clubs. Tell us about what's CMAA. Tell us what that stands for.
Yeah. Well, it stands for Club Management Association of America.
Okay.
It used to be Club Managers, but I believe they changed it to Club Management Association of America. And gosh, I've been involved with some of their events back in the 90s when I worked with an affiliate company, WTS International. Yet when I rebranded the name of my firm to Atlantic Recreation, I joined the CMAA as an affiliate.
Wow.
And started doing trade shows. I remember the first one was in Orlando back in 11. And so that's 14 years ago. And I've done just about every one since then, except on the West Coast. I know I've been to San Antonio. I think we were in San Antonio in 2015. And I remember being in Dallas at the Gaylord Palms. Actually, it was in February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. So we were fortunate on that. Yet, so Club Management Association of America, it's really the general managers, a lot of the gatekeepers for the high-end clubs.
That's what you told me.
And also communities. And so we talked with a lot of the GMs about what we can potentially do for them in terms of racket sports and wellness.
So it used to be just tennis. Now it's pickleball, probably some paddle at some point in time. But let me tell you about this. As long as you've been in this industry, what are some trends that you see coming forward in pickleball? Like maybe court management, maybe hiring, staffing. I don't know. What do you see in your industry?
Yeah. Well, I see a lot in pickleball from the court perspective. And when we think about racket sports, pickleball I describe as the rocket ship on steroids. It is so hot, and it's been so hot. And I'm just wondering when the sine wave's going to start coming down. But
I don't know, man.
Curtis, frankly, I don't see it.
I don't either.
And the trends that I see in the industry are a couple things. One is trying to keep players cooler. And you do that with low-tech ways, having trees adjacent to your courts, and there's ways to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And shaded courts, covered courts, and of course, a lot of the significant pickleball facilities that I'm seeing in the Southeast now that have the money are taking the facilities indoors.
Yeah, they're
so
covered.
I mean, that's really it. Trying to keep the players out of the sun with shade, covered courts, indoor courts, and that's
key. I mean, let me ask you this. I know this is probably a loaded question, but what would be a basic cost of, say, some idiot here is asking what it would cost to put one in his backyard? Yeah, right. Yeah. He's not doing this, but I mean, what do you think it is? Somebody calls you, what's a ballpark? 40, 50, 60, or 15?
In Florida, I can tell you that in Florida, one court without lights with fencing, approximately $60,000. That's a full-size court.
A full-size tennis court, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
34 by 64 with fence, no lights. That's a budget numbers in Florida. Of course, the thing about pickleball, if you build just one court, you've got to bring in all the equipment, machinery. So it's expensive to build one court. You start realizing some economies of scale when you're building 2-4 courts. And so I never recommend anybody build one pickleball court unless it's in their home, that's all they want. Because as you know, once you build one court, if you're at a club or something, people are going, where's our other courts?
Yeah, we're working. Are we kind of working with a similar club with our court, which hopefully we'll get another one soon? So you do tell people that. All right. Well, moving on from with Chris Hagman with Atlantic Rec and Welsh Tennis and Florida State alumni and University of Florida alumni. Did a lot of time there over there in South Florida. Growing up, I guess, playing tennis. All right, so what do you got going on in 2025? I think you mentioned something about a world conference when we talked a while back. Well, tell me what's going on with that.
Well, actually, that's coming up next month. The Racket Sports Professional Association World Conference in Kona, Hawaii.
Is that the RSPA?
And RSPA.
What?
Yeah.
Did you partner with them? Are you working?
I'm sorry?
Are you working with them now?
Well, I'm proud to say I'm a 40-year member of the USPA, now RSPA. So this is my 40th year.
Wow.
And I'm happy to say that. And as I've progressed into fitness and wellness, and Curtis, I know you and I have spoken about this, wellness is really my personal interest and passion. And as part of the work that I do and Atlantic Recreation does, is I was asked to speak on wellness along with my colleague, Frank Ginrich.
Really?
So we are going to be speaking on the business of wellness as one of the presentations. And we're looking forward to that because I think it gives our colleagues a lot of good information where they can rebrand themselves. And instead of just being a rackets professional, work outside the fences, so to speak.
Exactly.
So that's what we're going to be talking about in Kona, Hawaii. And I know me and Frank are real excited about that.
Well, I'll call in from here, and you and Frank come on the show and just tell us how your conference going, and just we can have both you guys on, and you can talk about what you're doing there next month, and we'll have you back on. Well, look, we're gonna get out of here. How would people get in touch with you if they wanted to contact you?
Best phone number is 404-307-4893. And my email is Chris, CHRIS, @atlrec.net. So if I can assist anyone with racket sports or wellness or amenity courts, please reach out to me.
All right, and I can be reached at Curtis at ReeseRacketSports.com on the World Wide Web. Are you going to come back on like consistently? Because, you know, you're kind of a mentor, and I'm going to bug the hell out of you if you don't. So you just say yeah, right? We're going to have you back on.
I can assist.
Thanks for coming on. I really mean that. He's a class act. He's the one and only Chris Hagman of Atlantic Rec. Welch Courts. Superstar recruiter, superstar everything. And I'm tired of being nice to you. I got to go. You got to go?
Thank you, Curtis. Be well. Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
Coming through.
Well, that was quick.